many of us, the project of living life in general can at times seem somewhat overwhelming. What do we do without an instruction book or a plan, a set plan for our lives? Well, today I'm with Evan Aronson, a writer-director who, through his mockumentary Nothing, provides us not so much with an answer, but rather shows us how to join him in the confusion. Evan, how you doing?
Good. How's it going, Keith?
Good, good.
All right,
I've seen
cool.
your film. It's a great film.
Thank
Very
you.
hilarious.
Thank you. It's got a little cult following happening.
Does it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, tell for people who haven't seen it, how would you describe what it's about?
Well, it's hard to describe. One person described it as like a slacker on speed or something like that. What it is, it's about a guy, a wedding videographer who gets fired from his job and decides to document his own life, make a movie about himself in order to give himself validation. You know, to me, the film is really about validation. If I had to say what the theme was, it's if a tree falls down in a forest and no one's there to videotape it, that it still makes a sound, that we're all still valid, even though we're all not movie stars or famous or anything, that we all have, that we all are worth something.
And it's based on your life, right?
Basically based on my life. Yeah, I fictionalized quite a few things.
I hear that. Like 50%. Well, what? Yeah. Would you say that after seeing this film that you would really know what Evan Aronson is like?
Not really. I mean, this is like the loser side of myself. This is like, you know, shows all my insecurities. I mean, I'm really, this film, I'm like emotionally naked in this thing.
Really?
And sometimes literally naked. I mean, there's this one shot. Well, I won't go into it, but you know, it's a little embarrassing. But yeah, it's to me. You know, I made the film, I had graduated college right when the recession started. It's like my graduation day was the beginning of the recession. There was no jobs, you know, I was totally lost. I worked for a year, I was trying to make it in the film business, I wasn't getting anywhere. And I wanted to make a film that sort of emphasized substance over style, because at the time, which was actually the 80s and the early 90s, I noticed that a lot of films and, you know, TV shows and stuff emphasize like images, beautiful images and stuff like that. And I wanted to get
generation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hit more, you know, the meat, the substance, philosophical stuff of what my generation was going through. And this was before Generation X. This is before people were making films about filmmaking, because in a way, this film is also about filmmaking. So I think this film has kind of happened before its time. So.
Right. And speaking of filmmaking, like, did you, I mean, I know you used a lot of stuff from your own life, obviously, so how did you actually pull all this together? What did you use for that material?
That's actually pretty interesting. I taped my telephone calls for like 6 or 7 months.
Really?
Yeah, I taped them, and...
like with the people knowing that you taped them?
Sometimes they knew, sometimes they didn't. And what I do is I would take the telephone calls and I would find a certain subject, like let's say my dad was talking about money. I would then go to like my home movies and I would look for like a shot of, say, my brother holding up a dollar bill, and I would sort of take the two subjects and I would match them together. And that's how the whole editing process worked. I, you know, filmed like 14 hours of footage. And I wasn't quite sure what I was doing as I was filming, but it all seemed to work out in the end. So.
And did you have a crew working with you?
No, I did the whole thing myself.
Really?
Yeah, I had like this whole pack of, you know, film. I took to Costa Rica and Mexico and to New York. I traveled all around, and you know, my dad was really upset because I, you know, always had this camera with me.
Really? So I mean, how does your dad, have you guys seen the film? Or?
Yeah. My family's seen the film. You know, they feel a little bit weird about it. It does probe maybe a little too deep. It gets a little too personal. You know, at some points you're watching, you're like cringing a little bit because I went a little bit too far in some cases. But
did you? Give me an example. How do you go too far in a film like this? Like with your friends or with who you are? You know what I mean?
With my friends, with my family, well, you know, for example, I use a lot of my parents' wedding photos because I was talking about how my parents got separated and how that affected my life, when they got divorced. And I used a lot of those shots, and then I would take little segments from my mom's journal, and I would, you know, put that in titles, put them over the images, and, you know, that was it's a little too personal.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, did she like it in the movie?
Yeah, no, she liked it. She liked it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
You know what? I actually want to go to a clip of this.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and set it up? Give us a sense of, is this representative of the whole film, you think?
Yeah, this sort of sets up what the film is. It's basically my friend Jason, who's voicing what I think the audience is feeling, which is, well, who are you making a film about yourself? You know, like, are you so important? That's the whole point of the film, is that, yes, you know, everyone is important. You know, why can't anyone make a film about themselves? You know, that's the reason why I made it.
Okay.
So, Yeah, so so that's what this is.
Let's take a look at it.
Okay.
Documentary is not supposed to be about some spoiled Jewish rich kid from the valley. I mean, if you want to make a documentary, make it about some, poor black kid from Watts, or, quadriplegic and from Vietnam. Something. Just make it about anything.
Why? What's the wrong with making it about itself?
Because you're not interesting enough.
Well, I don't know if that'd make the best review for the film, but it's definitely, there's a real self-mocking to the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that run through the whole film?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Everyone's giving me a hard time in the film. Friends, family.
So how are you marketing this?
Actually, it's pretty interesting. It's a very low-budget film, and so what I did is I made this box, this homemade video box, and I called the video stores, and I told them, will you buy this thing?
Wow.
It's like a homemade movie. Will you buy it? And they went for it because it's a pretty interesting box, and it's getting a lot of attention. So
what else do you have coming up here?
I got a film called Baggage, starring Emma Walsh and Marietta Hartley, and hopefully that's going to come out in 1998. Look out for it.
Will do.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, if you guys would like to purchase this film, Nothing, all you have to do is call 1-800-929-3545. And now on to more interesting subjects.
And welcome to all once again, and welcome to